What's up, guys? This is Alex here, licensed CPA Realtor, and I'm over here with Natalia Paulino. How you doing, Natalia?
Great, thank you.
Okay, rumor has it that a lot of people in the office tend to come to you for advice when it comes to branding yourself and creating social media content in general. So I just kind of want to sit with you for a minute and kind of pick your brain if that's okay with you.
I'd love to. Yes.
Perfect. Before we get started, why don't we tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I have been licensed since 2016. Shortly after getting licensed, I ended up finding out I was pregnant. So I feel like I started two new adventures at the same time, which was real estate and being a mom. And I guess since then, I've been able to kind of make them blend together and not really, I guess like the term is like a work-life balance, but I feel like I have a work-life blend that I've been able to make work for me. And then when it comes to social media, I felt like it just kind of happened, right? Like I was never a big fan of social media, but I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, and I saw the shift going into social media for not just our profession. I think every profession, a lot of businesses, like everybody's going into social media to get, more exposure, right? And for us, that's really important. So I was willing to get out of my comfort zone and start that. And I feel like I really got into social media at the end of 2019.
So since you started creating a presence on social media, have you seen a difference in the way your business operates?
Um, so I have noticed that I get a lot of business from social media. And it's not necessarily immediate business, but like anything else, any other lead generation source that we have in our business, it's a numbers game as well. So I felt like I did really well during COVID because of social media. And I want to say every deal I closed in 2020 was from social media. And it happened from just random videos. If I was out at a showing or running around the neighborhood or walking to my car, I would just jump on and film even a short clip. And then maybe a friend of a friend would see it or a friend would share it. That's how their friend saw it. And it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of happens naturally, I guess.
I mean, and I think that's why people have kind of been more adept at following content, things of that nature, because I think it's become more relatable, right? It's not
Right,
just, hey, there's another house, another listing, another rental, another whatever. It's just, oh, she's a person.
right.
And I think one of the things that a lot of people on the client side will sit there and wonder, like, do I even like this person, right? Like, am I gonna hire this person and then turn out 2 weeks later and be like, I hate this person. Like, I can't believe this person has the ability to sell. Like, I gave him the keys to try to sell my house, and I hate this person, right?
Right. Well, people want to work with, even surround themselves with people like themselves or people that they like, right? Like you can like somebody, you could aspire to be like them. You have common interests, and I think that's really important to show on social media. There's people that kind of say, I'm not going to show any of my personal side. It's all business, and they just want to show like I've got a listing and look at this listing, listing. And how does that really make a connection with any future business that you have? Like people want to see who you are. They want to see not just that you have a listing, but how do you work it, right? So I've even shown stuff during like how I, put out a spread for my open houses. Um, Pre-COVID, I used to set up a children's area. So I took my daughter's old it's like a picnic table, an outdoors picnic table. I would put it there. I would throw some coloring books. I would put some colors. The watercolor, it doesn't, it's not watercolors, but like you just wet the brush and you can paint on it. I would put
Right.
those there because it's like basically zero mess things that if somebody brought in their kids could be entertained. And, to be honest, I'm not going to take full credit for that idea. I stole that idea because I used to attend a lot of surf hat open houses. And that was me in the beginning. I would go to all their open houses and see how they did it and what they did. And it's also like not just selling the house, but like welcoming guests into this house. making them feel like it's a home. And how do you do that? By like giving the kids something else to do. Sometimes when I've gone out and I've showed families and they have their kids, they look stressed because the kids are impatient. The kids don't have anything to do, right? So how can we really accommodate these buyers that have one, two kids, like whatever amount of kids that they have? Like how can we make their home buying process just like a lot more enjoyable, a lot more stress free? That's something I would love for every agent to do, right? It's not like a, what do you call it? It's not a secret. I don't feel like it should be a secret. I feel like this should be a very welcoming, fun, stress-free process for any of our buyers.
Absolutely. Okay, and so we kind of got into the whys, or at least your logic behind you making this decision, right?
Right.
But how do you approach, like the actual figuring out of the content you're going to post? Like, how do you kind of sit there and come up with the ideas that you do?
Honestly, in the beginning, it was just very, like I said, sometimes it was kind of random. Or if I'm out and about, this is real estate. Maybe I saw a really cool house that I like. Maybe there was like a certain door on a house that I like, or there is some type of landscaping I like. Doesn't have to necessarily be a listing that we have, right? It doesn't have to be one of the ones that we're selling or one of the ones that our clients are buying. It could be any house in the neighborhood. It's like giving different ideas that are real estate related without necessarily just being part of a transaction. So I would do that. I think I'm, you know, going over market stats for those people that like the number nerds that like that kind of stuff, that, they do their research. But I've also heard, well, what I want to know is like what's happening specifically here, not like all of Brooklyn or all of Queens, like what's happening in my neighborhood. And I feel like that's really important for us in New York City, that we keep that in mind as agents, because it does vary from not only like borough to borough, but neighborhood to neighborhood. And knowing those local numbers, I think, is helpful. So I try to do that for content. Like I said, I try to keep the blend in there. So I put my daughter, if we're out showing. I posted stuff when we went to new developments, and she's like relaxing on one of the tanning beds outside
Awesome.
on the rooftop. I want to do a little bit of yes, real estate stuff and like my business, but I also want to show like the fun side of it, or even give people ideas on, I don't know, what type of renovations they could do on their homes if I see something cool, or landscaping ideas when we see something nice when we're outdoor knocking. I feel like we do so much on a daily basis. If you're active, right? If you're actively doing stuff on a daily basis for your business, there's so much content that you can put. I posted a video of me curling my hair while I was lead generating.
I mean, I think I missed. Wait, I think I see it. I think I saw. Wait, it was a while ago, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
I mean, but look,
People
I
want
mean,
to be entertained at
this.
the end of the day, so it has to be somewhat entertaining to really make a difference, like to get that engagement and get that visibility on social media.
Right. And there's obviously gonna be folks who are gonna sit there like, oh, but I'm not fun, I'm not funny, I'm awkward, whatever. And my point is, keep posting until you figure out a way
Right.
that works for you,
Exactly.
right?
I think that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get to where your personality does come through. I know that in the beginning, I probably just looked like very monotone, like no expression, where now I have a little bit more fun with it. But you also have to understand that we work with multiple different personalities. Like maybe if you are so serious and you're just very, I don't know, like analytical or whatever the case is, you just want to go over numbers, you're going to have an audience for that, right? So just, I think it's like going in and focusing on your strengths versus trying
Hmm.
to like work on your weaknesses or fix them to try to, I don't know, like you said, there's other agents I've seen and they do a lot of comedy stuff, over the top comedy stuff. I don't feel like I'm there. I can't get there. That's just not my personality. So why would I force it? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't come off natural.
We got through the high end stuff, or the high level rather. Uh, so let's start do a little bit of a deep dive. I know we're pressed for time,
Yeah.
but I do want to leave folks with something they could kind of start, their first steps towards building a platform and building up their brand.
Right.
So off the cuff, what are there like some tools you like to use, like any apps or anything like that you particularly use?
For content,
Yeah.
so I used to use a lot of different apps. It was kind of ridiculous because then I spent a lot of time editing um, when it came to videos, especially. Now I've really just kind of given in and committed to just using Instagram and the Facebook app and whatever features they offer within those apps, especially when it comes to Reels. I feel it's Instagram that's easier to work with because you can just like shoot each clip already. You can put transitions into it. They have the music for you. You can put your captions. So I've really just committed to using the apps right now. Before I used multiple apps. I can't even remember the names right now, but I would probably use like sometimes 3 to 4 different apps to edit some of the videos. And then I would end up wasting a lot of time. And I think just being able to put the content out there is more important than trying to make it like this perfect, like edited, overly edited kind of stuff. Like people still want to see that, what do you call it? I don't know, I guess relatability. Like we're not perfect. We don't have to shoot perfect videos for social media. It's just getting the content out there.
And it's that's the thing, right? I think Instagram, they realize that there is going to be a loss of, ground if the app cannot handle the editing, right? Most people who on the platform are not folks who are, sitting there video editing all this nonsense, right? And
Right.
it's people like us who run businesses or content creators who are, from my perspective, it's your business, right? So
Right.
that's your job. But I think you're right. I do use I gotta think of the name of it. I think it might be CapCut, but it's like those times where I'm like doing long walkways. I just want to speed things up and slow things down.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think everything is through Instagram. If I can't do it through Instagram, I just leave it alone. Right? And my
Right.
logic here is that with everything going on, I don't have time. But the other critical component here is that when I look at trends, the era of highly polished, highly edited videos is kind of, I don't want to say it's sliding to the wayside because it still is a niche for that, right? But
Right.
I think when you're having like a day in the life type content, I think raw and unedited is usually the way to go,
Right.
right? Okay,
True.
so then that's one.
I also feel like, well, here's the thing. I feel like the stuff that is highly edited, and it looks almost like professional and perfect, they're probably at the level where they're not doing their own editing. I'm gonna guess that they probably have somebody that helps them on the back end to kind of do the editing. Maybe they do the recording, but they're not doing the full editing on their videos. Because it
I
takes
see that,
time.
yeah.
When I used to try to be very meticulous about it, I could spend an hour, maybe multiple hours editing one video that wasn't even 5 minutes long because I wanted it to look a certain way. But I think it's more
Yeah.
important, like the quality, like getting to that nitty gritty kind of stuff is almost not as important as like the message that you're trying to put out there, um, or what you're trying to show, if that makes sense.
It does. And obviously, if you are not in the real estate arena, things might be different, right? Depending on what business, what thing you're in. But as it relates to agents specifically in the real estate market, I mean, look, our phones record at a really remarkable like level of quality, right? And so
Right.
if you want to think about working on your lighting, your angles, your audio, which it's those are the things you want to focus on. The editing portion of it, I mean, to a degree, right? Because
Yeah.
the other argument is, as an agent, if you are spending that much time, you might be able to spend that much more time doing things like lead generating, right?
Right.
Reaching out to a few more contacts, right? Things of that nature.
Yeah, it's like who is your audience? There are like who are you trying to impress in a way if you're doing this, right? Like who is your audience? You know, if you're looking for buyers or sellers, are they going to sit there and critique like one of your posts on social media? Probably not. They're probably going to be more curious about what you're actually saying in that video or the message behind it.
And that makes sense. You know. All right. So, just for the sake of time, and I'm pretty sure here that we're gonna have to do a more in-depth, like, here's our step-by-step, but
Right.
broad strokes. Let's say you're sitting down right now, you're ready to create a reel. You know, I'm assuming you're heavily on the reel side because, well, I noticed that you do a lot of reel and like stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other question, right? A lot of people, they're like, oh, what do I actually post? Well, I am a proponent of do what the platform wants you to do, right?
Yeah.
And Instagram is trying to compete with places like Instagram, like TikTok and stuff like that. So the short form content, plus a lot of folks like short form better, right? If you're on the train commuting, you just want to swipe through. So do what the platform wants you to do. For me, it's reels, and if when you build, I think I've been seeing more action on the stories side, but in terms of growth, I would say reels.
Yeah, you want to pay attention to any updates. Whatever updates come up within the platforms, whatever platform it is, start using that because they want you to use their platform. They want you to use their tools. And by doing so, that's going to put you up your content above everybody else's if they know that you're using it because they want everybody on the platform to use it.
Now, Ms. Paulino, you were sitting down, you're ready to get a reel put together. Can you just kind of walk me through your process of how you kind of put that together?
Right. So I've been using Instagram primarily right now. So I'll go in there, I'll go straight to the reels and record different clips of what I want. I'm really trying to keep them under a minute because I feel like timing is everything and people are always just like, they don't have patience. They want to keep going. So I try to keep it under 60 minutes. I will shoot clips, each clip separate instead of trying to say the whole thing at one time. And I might change like the direction or my background while I'm doing it, even if it's just like turning in a 360 circle for each each clip that I'm doing within my reel. And then from there, I think from there you can go through and start doing the transition part, which is, I think at the bottom there's a edit your clips. Click on there, and I'll go through the different transition buttons that are on there just to kind of create a different effect. It also creates just a little bit more visually appealing to capture, like keep their attention versus like you're just here looking at the video and you're doing the same thing and there's no change in the background, there's no change to anything that you're doing to keep them engaged. Then I used to add audio, but what I noticed is it started creating like a static in the background. So I'm not using their music in my background anymore. I don't know if that happened to anybody else, but like a lot of them started doing that. So I just use my original audio.
Are you
whatever I'm
on
saying.
a business account?
Yes.
That's probably going to be why.
Yeah.
And actually,
but I'm okay with that because I want to start doing more original audios and a lot of it of me talking because I want to take advantage of that update with the captions. Right? So after I'm done, I'm adding the captions to my videos.
And that, for me, is helpful, right? Especially, and that was just a little thing that I've done. Because you have a little thing when you go to the effects, it just says caption. It'll automatically capture things. It's not 1000% perfect, but it works generally.
You can still edit it. If you click on it, you'll be able to edit it too. So I try to do that if I have a little extra time to make sure that the words are proper or whatever. Because I know sometimes I have an accent or a lisp or something going on.
Well, you're talking to the king of.
That's why I stopped listening to my videos because I listen to them. I'm like, what the hell did I just say? I sound like my daughter.
I mean, with the static, what I've noticed was when I had. So my Instagram is on the creator bucket, right? But then I noticed that if I were to try to move that to my business, like say Facebook, well, I don't know if it still does it because I haven't checked the reels on that, but I think once you have like use their music, it like statics it out because I'm assuming it's because of like the copyright infringement, like
Yeah,
the licensed music, whatever,
right.
which is weird.
I don't know. I mean, I'm okay using original audio. I'm pretty sure I heard or read somewhere that that'll help as far as like them picking you up on the algorithm to kind of push your content out there if it's original.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'll download the video from Instagram and share that video to Facebook. So I'm doing
That's
my
probably a good
video,
way
I'm
to do
doing
it.
my editing through Instagram, downloading it, and then putting it onto Facebook. The same videos.
That's interesting. I've I guess you could follow me under lazy. I haven't done that. I linked it, and that's all I've been doing. I mean, Facebook in general. So my Instagram. I've also added the when you see other people's reels, and there's like a concept or a sound, or like for me the comedy bits.
Yeah.
You could click the bottom. Well, for Android, the bottom right, where that little screen is for that sound thing. I click that. I'll save it, so that when I use it as a reel, I go into audio, and then a lot of it is at like lip syncing, right? So if you have like a funny concept for certain sounds, you could kind of do that, right? And again, personality, right? If you
Right.
have that kind of brain, go ahead and do it, right? And you can apply it to your business. It doesn't always have to be a sketch, right? It could be something more relatable to what you're actually working on, because there are a lot of things that actually work.
So I think at the end of the day, right, like social media for us as agents or any business owner, it's just another way to get exposure, right? Kind of lead generate in a way, like connect with other people that you might not otherwise connect with. And I think because of that, like you do need to show yourself, right? You don't have to go out of your comfort zone and be a comedian if you're not a comedian to get that engagement. But you have to show a little bit of yourself.
And I haven't done it myself, but a thought that occurred to me is if you are concerned with the content that you create as a body, and you want to say put your Instagram, on a business card, or whatever, for like prospective clients to look at. If you want, you could pin certain videos to the top. That way, if you're worried about, oh my god, but what if when they look, it's not relevant to let's think of it as a resume, right? Take the top
Right.
clips that you think will represent you and your business the most and pin it towards the top.
You
That
pin
way,
it, you
you
could
could have
feature
this is my
it.
resume. Yeah, you know. Um, but I actually know maybe I will play with that because I do have a lot of random stuff. You've seen it goes from like cooking random barbecue to like I went to a kiddie pool today. So. Uh, but any other words of advice, any tips that you would like to share before we sign out?
No, but I definitely want to do a follow up on this and go more in depth of the actual content, maybe, and like
Hmm.
like go step by step on, like we were just going over the reels. We could probably go step by step and do it maybe like a live session.
Hmm.
Um, I would prefer live in person, but if we can do the shared screen, we'll try that next time too. And
Absolutely.
then content, really going over, I guess we could go over more ideas of where they can find content. Because for us,
Absolutely.
for KW, we do have, I think it's on Connect, where agents can go on. I think there's a calendar or a newsletter that monthly they will give you different ideas for content.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah. And I want to say there's probably other, like, I could research it for next time as well, like actual sites that you can look it up and see different stuff. And um, Lab Coats Agents, they used to do a monthly one as well.
I have wow, I'm blanking out today. Um, there was a platform. List reports is what I use. Not a big secret. But for the like the Facebook stuff, I post there. But if they are sharing some kind of article or something like that, I might, do my research, read up on it, and then make a reel out off of that.
Yeah.
It's just the time factor right now. I really, really, really wanted to go through the actual how-tos, like step by step thing.
Or even getting, I
But
mean, even getting working with the vendors that we work with. You're really good at that as well.
oh
Do a
yeah,
reel with your mortgage lender. your attorneys,
Absolutely.
whoever it is. You can do that. Nowadays, we don't even have to be in person. They could easily
Hmm.
record like we're doing right now and then clip it and use that as a reel or whatever the case is.
Absolutely. If someone were to be looking to reach out, where could they find you?
Yes, you can call or text me 347-941-4246. Find me on Instagram, nataliap.realtor. Facebook is just my name, Natalia Paulino. It used to have
Nice,
like the
nice.
hyphen with realtor, but they took that off when I went into a digital creator.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, if you go to my profile on Facebook, you know, because my cover, what is it? The cover photo?
Mm-hmm.
My cover photo straight up says it.
So you win.
Yeah. And like, and also too, I think it's important if you're, for your Facebook, put your information on your cover photo. I've had a lot of people contact me that way as well. They're not looking for my phone number. They're
Interesting.
not looking for my email. It's right there. I've gotten emails from it. People that found me, you know, even through, they found me through a group that I'm in, and then went to my profile, and then my contact information is right there at the top.
Oh, that's a good hot tip.
I've had other
Right?
agents give me referrals. They said, "Oh, somebody mentioned you in another group that I'm not even a part of." Went straight to my profile. My contact information's right on top.
Oh, I gotta start
Now
doing that then.
everybody's willing to do the work to find your information. You got to put it out there for them. You might
That
get
is
passed on the deal
1000%.
because they don't want to look for your information.
That is true. That is absolutely true. So agents, business owners, creators, do yourself a favor. It doesn't matter what it is you post, unless it's illegal or right. Just don't be a pig, please.
Right.
But post something, post consistent, get your reps in. Does that sound right? Correct?
Yeah.
Uh, I almost want to leave folks with like a bit of homework.
Yeah.
But if you were to, like, let's say these three types of reels, for instance, you should make right now. What would they be?
Oh man. I mean, let's think about this. Okay. I mean, they could start something simple, do an introductory. I would do an introductory reel like, hey, this is so and so at this place and this, work in residential real estate, something quick and simple. It doesn't have to be long, right? If we're just starting, just don't focus on trying to complete a 60-second video, a whole full minute. You could do like 10 seconds. Those are very trendy too. Something like that. Or a short clip, you walking into your office, right? A short clip of a house you love in your neighborhood, like something short and quick. Baby steps.
Baby steps. Actually, that's better than what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
I was like a realtor tip. Uh, I mean, you can have the standard buyers tip, sellers guide.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, intro is 1000%, and it doesn't have to be, "Hi, my name is John. I am a Scout Ranger. I would
Yeah.
like to assist you today." Right? I see a lot of folks start with "Why me?" You know, um,
I mean, you
but
could
I
even
like
say,
that.
"Hey, I'm Natalia. I'm a local real estate agent here in Brooklyn. I have plenty of show. I have multiple showing today. Wish me luck, guys. Bye."
That's actually
Right?
perfect, right?
Wish me luck,
And
or send me a high five. Maybe they'll put it in the comments. You get that engagement.
hmm
What do you call it? A call to action at the end.
hmm
You know, wish
oh
me
yeah,
luck. Send me a high five or something
yep,
like that. So maybe we get that engagement in there too.
absolutely. And new agents, specifically new agents, there's a very high likelihood that you guys do not have listings
Yeah.
yourselves.
Here's another one because we're starting the new year. Hey guys, I'm Natalia out in NYC. My goal this coming year is to help 20 families get into their home or buy into the American dream or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and tag
Right? And
any friend, family, coworker that you know of that I can help.
yeah, you power that with go help out with an open house. Hey, this is Alex. I'm here at such and such at such avenue, right?
Yeah.
Listed at whatever the 3 bed, 5 bed, whatever. Why don't you come through and you know what? If you want to see how this sells, follow, subscribe, whatever, right? And I'll catch you guys later, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting to that point of there's no excuse,
Yeah.
right?
If they're gonna commit to it, they can tag us on their videos.
Oh, real talk now. What's up?
Go ahead and tag me and Alex so we can see what they're doing out there. And on top of that, we'll create some engagement as well. We'll put a comment on their video.
I mean, I think a lot of times, agents will follow each other just to see what we're up to. And honestly, the agents that just have like, oh, listed for sale, under contract, I'm like, there's a place for that actually, right?
Yeah.
I used to poo-poo it, but their marketing strategy isn't such that they're using, say, Instagram for like get more people. It's just like, no, this is work I've done, and that's it. It's like a very simple sales resume, right? Not my thing, but I do know that I've talked a couple agents into getting onto the social media train. Like, dude, like, are you driving to an open house? Let people know, right?
Right.
Do you like a coffee shop in the area? Post that thing. Be like, who the hell cares about the bagel? Well, if someone's moving to the area, they don't know that area. I'd be like, yo, this is the best bagel on the block.
If you're going out to an open house, you can literally knock out 3 videos back to back. Hey, I'm going out to an open house today. Stay tuned if you want to see what's going on inside this house. Blah, blah, blah. Done. Hey, I'm in the second video. Hey, I'm out here at this open house. Check out this, and this in the house. Done. Leave the open house. Oh my God, that was an amazing open house. This, and this happened.
Oh, yeah. See, I think you're going to start getting calls of like, I have a thing that's going on, like, give me some ideas. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. I think if you don't have an idea of what to post, very simple. Go find a group of people, agents in the office, come reach out to us, right? Well, maybe that might be a lot of requests, but just be like, hey, look, I'm doing such and such. I got this going on. Just like, how would I post this, right? And that is not to say that our ideas are like gospel, right? But it's just, we think of people who you could bounce ideas off and brainstorm with, and I think it'll do oodles of good.
Right. You just kind of build off of it little by little.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think most people, I'm guilty of that too. When you first start, you're like, what do I post? What do I post? And then, the whole thing of post what you're doing anyway. And I'm like, but how would I film this? I'm like, I started with just literally film it. Just, you do nonsense, fine, right? You feel like it's nonsense, fine, film it anyway.
Yeah.
And for me personally, the next step was just talk through my thought process, right? And as I went through it, I was like, okay, well, when I first watched it, it's very cringe. But I started thinking, I'm like, okay, well, if I were to explain what I'm doing to someone, how would I do it? Right? It's like if a client was saying, like, Alex, why are you even doing that? Like, why are you thinking, like, why are you looking around the house to see if there are, any holes in the ceiling, or why are you checking to see if the floorboards are rotted? Well, because you want to know these things, right? Mm-hmm. How is a buyer who's going to look at your house, right? How is this going to affect the comps that I provide to you? Because maybe the other houses are just as dingy, or maybe they're worse, or maybe they're better, right? But I can't expect to have $3 million price point for $1 million house. Mm-hmm. Very dragged on, but it's. I think it's just start with what you're doing, right? And then build on that. Later on, you'll start getting ideas of like, oh, like this is a question that I've had, or a question I keep getting asked by all my clients. Maybe I should make a video on that.
Right.
FAQs are always like a good low-hanging fruit, I think.
Yeah. Any questions that come up from a client is definitely something you should make a video on.
1000%. And I would say objections too, but you got to go.
I do. My appointment is here.
So, thank you guys for joining us. We'll do a part 2, more in depth, step by step on how to build the content itself. Natalia, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.